Hello, everyone, and welcome back. After a great month of May, looking back not first at May, but the month before in April, the market had a pullback in April. We had some consolidation in the market, which was much needed. We had 3 great months to start the year. Before that, we also finished the year last year extremely strong. So we weren't concerned at all to have a little bit of consolidation and a little bit of a pullback in April. Looking at May, though, that we just finished, the market rebounded tremendously. We had a great month in the market in May. Looking at some of the more specific numbers, the S&P 500 was up almost 5% for the month. The NASDAQ was up almost 7% for the month. The Dow was up about 2.5%, and the equal weight S&P 500 was up almost 2% for the month of May. That brings the year-to-date totals to, for the S&P 500, up just over 10.5%. For the NASDAQ, up about 11.5%. For the Dow, up about 2.5%. And then for the equal weight S&P 500, up just over 5% for the year, which is a great start through the first 5 months. So turning now, looking at some of the economic data that was released this month, the CPI number came in at 3.4% year over year. This is just slightly less than the reading last month at 3.5%. A similar story when you look at the PCE, the Fed's favorite measure of inflation, that came in this month at 2.7% year over year increase, just down from the 2.8% year over year increase that we got from the reading last month. So speaking of the Fed, they're still remaining in that holding pattern for now. We think that their next move will be a cut. We think that the rate hiking cycle is over. We feel confident that we may actually see our first cut this summer. So we think that we could see the first cut in July just based on some of the data that's been coming out, these numbers that are coming out a little bit softer than expected, which is a great thing. But we want to continue to see this data roll out in a positive direction before really committing to that first cut in July or really affirming that first cut in July. So we'll continue to be mindful of that. We'll continue to monitor that as the data comes out. Just looking at other things as well as we wrap up this month of May, just reminding everyone to just remain disciplined in their investment strategy throughout this year. It is an election year, which makes people go a little bit crazy. There's going to be a lot of inflammatory headlines and big events that happen that could cause a very emotional reaction, but just to remain disciplined throughout this time. At the end of May, the big news that is taking up the news cycle is President Trump being convicted in the quote hush money trial. And I'm not going to make an opinion on that. We're not going to make an opinion on that. It just serves as a good reminder that there's going to be a lot of outside noise. There's going to be a lot of inflammatory headlines as we enter this election season and as we're in this election year. And just to remain disciplined with your investment mindset as we do have this outside noise. So we remain committed to sticking to our process and our philosophy of buying companies that have great cash flows and great earnings and pay a dividend and consistently raise that dividend. And so we'll remain disciplined with that strategy regardless of who's elected in November. And so we'll stay committed to our strategy and focus on that primarily. So I hope you all have a wonderful month of June. Hope you enjoy this nice weather. We'll see you next month.